And I believe we're live. Hey guys, welcome to the first Framer sessions. We're doing a little experiment here. We're trying to have a physical event right behind us where there's a group of people actually getting and hacking on Framer stuff, while at the same time have a have a virtual hangout and get people some help. This is Ben.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, great to see you, Chris and Jordan. Thank you for volunteering. Do we have people in the chat right now?
Yeah, we got one guy.
Okay, cool. So we got Andrew. Sweet.
Hello.
Hey, Andrew.
Here. We're trying to have a physical event right behind us where there's a couple actually getting hacking on Framer stuff.
Okay. So have they started like moving into projects yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I can't. Would this be too much? Could we like walk them through what we have set up here so they could see this?
Oh, sure.
Okay, sweet. All right. Yeah. All right. So before we get started on projects, I'd like to take you guys on a quick tour so you can see the event that's actually set up here. So this is the beginner group over here. Hey guys, this is the live stream. So everyone in the Framer group will see this tomorrow. These are all the beginners here. What's up, guys? And then over here we have the advanced group.
Whoa, that's big.
There's Tisho. Tisho is helping them through figuring out structure and what the best way is of setting up your Framer doc. Hey guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but this is the live stream for viewers at home, so say hello. Cool. And then here we got the group who wants to watch George do his magic.
The George.
He's taking requests. Hey guys, say what's up to the live stream.
Hey.
Cool.
Hello.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to take you back to Sai, and then you guys can kick it off with helping out on some projects. Cool. All right. You good with this?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Cool. All right. Looks like Andrew is first in line. Let us know what your project is, and these guys will help you out.
Cool. Yeah, I did not come to this ready with a project for you to work on. I kind of was thinking we were in a situation here where, we were just going to check out some Framer stuff. So, I mean, I'm pretty new to it. I built a couple of prototypes in it, and, unfortunately, I'm on a brand new computer that doesn't have any of those prototypes on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
But why don't I guess if people are going to watch this, why don't you tell me who you guys are? I don't know the first thing, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Sure, I can go first. My name's Chris, Chris Camargo, and I'm a senior interaction designer with Disney right now. But I've been doing interaction design in some capacity for probably about the last 11 years. I've got a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript under my belt. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with front-end development, but CoffeeScript and Framer is completely, I'd say, new to me within about the last 6 months. So I've done a lot of the learnings and a lot of the struggles I think that a lot of the beginners have been facing. So I'm here to help out for folks that are finding their feet for the first time.
Cool. And what kind of stuff are you using for interaction design, like before Framer?
We're actually doing prototyping for mobile apps. So we're doing a lot of native mobile apps.
Okay. Do you just prototype what, in like Xcode or something?
No, I mean we're using a mix of tools, but Framer happens to be one that I'm utilizing most for my recent work. So I've been really sharp. what was that? Sorry, what was your last question?
I was just going to say, what tools were you using prior to Framer?
Prior to Framer, wow, InVision, a little bit of Flinto, and I dabbled in Pixate for a while as well.
Yeah.
Those are great tools. They're all really great for whipping up really quick prototypes. We actually still utilize some of those tools right now.
When do you use something like, so I've been in Framer, I've done some stuff in Framer, I've done some stuff in InVision. I run product at a startup out here in Boston, and so I've been using Framer mostly. Sometimes at work to just mock up little like web interactions because that's been cool, and then also just in my own spare time, kind of imitating. The other day I made like pulled in paper and did like a little mock-up of a drawing interface. Some mock-ups of basically just like a Tinder clone kind of thing, and just have been kind of messing around with it in that capacity.
Yeah.
When are you using like Pixate, or like when is that a better tool for you than Framer?
I think it really depends what folks are comfortable with. Some folks are really comfortable diving into code and getting their hands dirty. Some, want a more structured interface that has more pre-built components that they can utilize. It really just depends, I think, the level of fidelity you need and the level of comfort you have with those kinds of tools.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah, the level of, I guess your desire to really fine-tune things, I think, is nice as well, for sure. Like myself, I kind of started off maybe like 16-ish years ago, and it was a lot of heavy like motion work, and gradually got more into front end, like 4 or 5 years into that. But that's the thing I really liked about Framer, was just my ability to like nitpick at smaller details and really fine tune them to have the right motion and timing. And yeah, compared to other tools that are kind of more like canned stuff. But
And Jordan, what's your background?
So let's see.
It sounds like a lot of you are 16. That's pretty solid.
It's like design background. I gradually in motion animation, and did that a lot for the music entertainment industry, a lot of bands and touring artists, and kind of got really burned out on that and started doing like product development and mostly mobile stuff around 2006. And yeah, just started getting more into front-end development and CSS, things like that. And then as CSS3 came around with kind of the transitions, animations, transform stuff, especially in mobile side, really got back into motion again, and started picking it up. It was kind of just, had that nice break. And a lot of work that I do right now is, I don't know, because, yeah, I kind of fill in where like I can really help teams out, but right now I'm doing a lot of prototype work for iOS applications. Right now I'm working with Microsoft here in Redmond, mostly remote, but been freelancing or working for myself almost the entire time. So since 1999 or so. But yeah, I don't know. That's generally my background. It's kind of really comfortable with server side and front end coding. So yeah.
Well, I guess I did dig in here, and it looks like I do have a couple of things saved on iCloud, so we could screw around with those if you guys want.
Yeah, I mean, we can. You mentioned we're hoping to like kind of sit and see some stuff happen. So yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us would have problems like pulling up some stuff if there's things you're curious about or interested in.
Yeah.
So.
And is there like an area with like a chat here somewhere that I'm missing?
Yes.
Yeah, it should be on the right side of the screen. There's a chat bubble up at the top right.
Yeah, here's this thing that I was doing that was like just testing having like a drawing thing where you could select. Man, it doesn't even look like it's working in my browser. I wonder if this works in on my phone. Are you guys seeing that prototype?
I am not seeing a message yet. Oh, you put it in the
I put it in the chat window.
Hangout chat? Okay.
I don't even know if it's working.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be.
Yeah, Andrew, I think you shared it in like the group chat within the Hangout. But you can also share your screen.
Oh, okay. Let me just run it on my phone and see if it actually works.
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat, the podcast chat.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this is what it doesn't run on the browser for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically it, and you can like select like a color, and you can draw with that color into this like particular area on the screen. And then there's like an eraser on here where you could just kind of like erase what you drew. And this was like something I don't know. I found something on the Framer group that was it was how to pull in basically Paper.js to Framer, and then I kind of like screwed around with that until I could get like a few different colors. You could draw with it. One of the things that's going on with it that I'm not really sure why it's fucked up is the like performance of it deteriorates over time. Like the more you draw, I think it's just like I'm doing something terrible with like code that I don't know how to write. Probably like not deleting something in there.
Hmm.
It doesn't seem to run in the browser, but it seems to run okay on my phone. I'm not really sure why that is. I can't select anything in the browser.
Taking a look. Ah, okay. Looks like it's the...
But also, happy to check out your guys' projects as well, see what you guys got going on. Let's see what else I have here.
A lot of the stuff I've done lately, I fortunately can't share, especially...
I figure that's going to be the case.
I can write new stuff, for sure.
Yeah, maybe we should make something.
I'm pretty sure I know what the issue is with your... Let me try here. Hmm.
Yeah, so I guess I'm sharing my screen now. Have you seen that?
I'm off in another window at the moment,
Okay.
looking at...
Well, for those who are going to watch this is what we do. And you can select colors and draw. And there's an eraser. That looks a little funky on here.
So, is it this strange offset you're trying to correct?
Actually, no, that works fine. I only really want to use it on the phone, and on the phone it looks okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see how fast I can switch this back to uh, camera. There you go. So on the phone, just reload it. On the phone it seems to work okay, so I can grab a color, and that's kind of where I want it to be.
Yeah.
The funky problem I have at the moment is that it like kind of deteriorates after a while, and also I couldn't really figure out how to destroy the like I couldn't figure out how to clear the lines that I drew. So the eraser doesn't actually like erase them; it just paints a big ass white thing over everything, and there's not a I don't have like an ability to like clear.
You're using Paper.js to do this?
Yeah, yeah. I basically just copied some code off of what I found on like the Facebook group,
I see.
which is where I heard about this, in order to like integrate Paper.js, and then basically just screwed around with it until I could get this far. And
I think, Jordan, this might be more your territory. I'm not terribly well versed in Paper.js.
Me, yeah. Womp womp. Sorry.
yeah, no, I just don't know what we're supposed to talk about, so we can check this out.
I think I know one issue. I'm trying to dig into why it's not working on the browser.
Oh, okay, cool.
I had to dig up and out of my memory first what project I had that code in. And I believe I just found it. So give me a second. Trying to actually prove that that's the issue.
By the way, if anybody's watching this and they have questions that they want answered, feel free to throw those in the chat.
If fun is equal to 1.
Do you have anyone watching this?
I like your check. Let's see if I can. There's like if fun is equal to 1.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of terrible stuff in there. It's great.
I think party time is also a good one, just because you get to write if party time.
Yeah, but really, that should be always, right? Like that should be always true. Always should be party time. Have you guys built like how deep of an interaction do you guys typically prototype when you're building something? Like, will you go insofar as like an entire trying to imitate an entire app experience, or would you more do like one animation, or it just depend on kind of what project you're trying to do and you're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly depends on the project. If you're just trying to convey something, I think, to like a developer really quickly, if you just want them to understand something, you can generally build something pretty quick and minimal.
Yeah.
If you're building something that you want to test with real users, for instance, that might need to be a little bit more extensive and a little bit more polished, just so that there are, more avenues that they can explore and that they can react to, which is what you want, out of a user test, is them reacting to more of your product. So, yeah, it really depends. But I think my favorite thing about it is just that, I can jump in and kind of like prove something, like a concept that's very simple, very quickly. I think that's really, really nice. And you're not like constrained by the toolbox, kind of like you are with tools like Flinto or InVision. You're kind of limited to what they give you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find InVision has only really helpful for me for like a click-through sort of experience, like just kind of a vague, rough idea, but you lose a lot of, particularly it's like on mobile, it's like you're not, actually I haven't really used InVision for mobile stuff. The product that I work on is more of a web-based product, so I'm typically using InVision for that because it's just like, I don't know, faster, and all I really need is like a click-through. Usually, I've used it for some things, but
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think Framer is really nice when you can, abstract away all the thoughts about, all of your various elements and just think about things as layers. I think that's what it's really, really nice for. Because, as a designer, that's like thinking in layers is kind of natural. We've just been thinking that way for, most of the tools we use layers. So to be able to think that way in a prototyping tool and then be able to manipulate those layers with code, especially in code that's like less verbose, that's a huge win. Because if I had to write this in plain JavaScript, I think it would be a much harder sell for a lot of designers.
if you had to write it in what, JavaScript?
If I had to write it in plain JavaScript, for instance, instead of using CoffeeScript,
Yeah.
I think Framer in Framer Studio put a really nice wrapper and environment around the tool. So
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. And the Facebook group is kind of awesome, too.
our community is fantastic. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's really, like, there's so much useful stuff. And I don't know, what's cool about it for me is, like, actually having something that is, like open source interactions almost is how I kind of describe it, where you just have, like, people just sharing, like, here's like an interaction I made, and maybe it'll be useful to other people. Like, maybe not everyone needs to prototype chat like 50 million times. Like, maybe make one, right?
Sure, that's a perfect example of like why the module system and the components are so great. I think components are going to be a huge addition for Framer.
I know what modules are. What are components?
So, like, have you spent any time with like the scroll component or the page component? Have you seen those?
No, I haven't gotten down with that yet.
So, if you wanted to do like, horizontal paging with, like swiping to get to the next page and the screen, the next page actually automatically stops and locks in the center of the screen. Doing that kind of thing was actually kind of difficult because you had to write all of that logic yourself, calculating like the velocity of the finger movement and like where somebody actually releases the screen or their tap target, like relative to how far they've moved it across the screen. So Framer now is building in components to help repackage all of that logic so that they don't need, so that people like us don't need to keep writing that stuff over and over again. Page component is a big one. Scroll component is kind of like it's like it utilizes scroll component, it actually builds on it. So it's really interesting to see how those are going to evolve, I think.
Yeah.
So Jordan, what do you got over there? What's going on?
I got it to. I saw that it wasn't actually registering touch events. I believe I kind of went a little too far ahead. Looks like you were using only certain coordinates that wouldn't have valid values.
Is there any way you can share your screen?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm still kind of like working it out, but
well, that's okay. I think it might be valuable just to have people see you work it out and kind of talk through it.
Sure. I don't know what I'm doing right now. No. Let's see. So, I wish I had the code from before.
Still got fun in there. That's good.
Yeah, I kept it in there.
Nice.
That's obviously an essential
So the main part of that I grabbed is this. I'm just kind of like going to take it out of here.
Oh, so making like ways to handle a mouse event versus a touch event, so that it is that what you're working on?
Yeah. Um,
Have you guys ever felt, I noticed the other day somebody had created some site. I think it's framerco.de or something, and it's
Yeah, who was that, Jordan? Who did that?
I don't know.
you guys have
Might
any
have
idea
been
who
me.
made that?
Might have been me.
It might have been me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's yours.
Sort of, yeah, I guess so. I don't necessarily claim it. There's a few people that are contributing to it, but
Jordan
I
is
set it up. I've done like 20% of the postings on there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what you
It's
know?
the
What
communities. He just looks after it.
Yeah, I just it's an occasional thing. I'm there every once in a while. What I would be awesome to see on there would just be some kind of like, and I don't know. Last time I didn't see this, like just some kind of voting mechanism where, like, stuff that like as more and more stuff gets on there, like things can like rise to the surface.
Yeah. See that? It's not a bad idea. I don't know. I think it could probably be based on like how the likes on it, or
Yeah.
Hey, I have a project.
Are you saying something?
Yeah, I have a project.
Okay.
When you're done with this project, I have a project.
cool. So basically, like, to get the correct positions back, offset, touch offset, and client X. Basically, I believe in. Let's see. It was a while since I touched this, so I wonder if I want to talk it all the way through. Essentially, there was two different types of properties that were getting returned back for each one. So I believe that like offset X would only show up for desktop or like mouse events, and it wouldn't exist for touch events.
Okay.
So essentially, I was using that as like a check to say what I wanted to filter the results through, and then return it as just a basic X and Y instead of if that's all you really needed. Because it looked like down here you were passing in some X and Y. I've kind of modified it since then, but I believe you're only using client X, client Y. But alas, it will not draw. But before, it was returning nothing on the desktop. So step in the right direction. Yeah.
Cool.
But I definitely should go through this again and make sure before I recommend this, like what it's actually doing, and document it, because I'm not sure if screen frame is the best option still. So.
Okay. Cool.
So what do you guys got over there?
So I have my Periscope project. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so like I'm just as a practice, I'm remaking Periscope because there's a lot of crazy interactions over there, and I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. So I have a few problems. If you guys want to help me out with the project, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look.
Okay, cool. So I posted it in the suggested questions area.
Ben's wonky periscope?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know where that is.
Okay, let's take a look.
How are you guys doing, by the way?
Ah, great.
Good.
It's Andy all the time, huh?
All right, let's see.
Yeah, it's been chaos for me over here the past like hour because we've been figuring out things, but it's awesome.
Where's the suggested questions? I'm totally missing that.
If you scroll down,
You gotta
you
hide
should
the
be able to
chat
see it.
window.
For you guys, it's actually on the sidebar. If you close the chat, Ben's wonky periscope.
Ah. I see it now.
Yeah. Just downloading it now.
Nice, dude. Looking good from last time we looked at it.
Thank you. Yeah, so like I've got a lot working, a lot more working. I'm having a really hard time figuring out how to get the drag properly working when you're dragging the chat, not the chat, your window up. I guess like if you, who's gonna pull it up?
Jordan,
one-
why don't you give it a shot to pull it up?
The one thing I don't see is the open link.
Oh no.
Are you serious? You can't open it?
See your nice background, but I don't see an open button.
Either. I don't either.
Here, try. Let's see if I can get this. Give this a shot, Jordan.
Where am I looking?
I'm gonna give this. Give this. I'm gonna put this in the chat window for podcast.
So weird.
That.
Okay. Cool. So I'm getting closer to just that.
P video nav. Okay.
Oh, okay. Is that just a zip file?
The Framer project is inside of it.
Is that working for you guys?
Yeah, yeah.
I think so.
So this is interesting. You've got like a doubles. Okay, you've got the double scrolling going on.
Can you screen share, Chris?
Yeah, let me pop it open.
All right. Finally have it up myself. Okay.
Why don't I see Framer Studio on my screen share list? Jordan, can you try yours?
Oh, really? I just been doing my desktop.
Here we go. It's working. Okay. Can you guys?
Awesome. So the problem that I'm having is if you, if you drag like that, yeah. And so what it should do if you click on the names and you drag it up, it shouldn't pop. It should smoothly start scrolling. But instead, it pops to the position of where your mouse is.
That's interesting.
And so, yeah, I'm having a hard time getting it to work. Now, there's all these other parts to it as well, but the part that I'm trying to fix right now is that. So
Oh, I see.
Like after you drag it up, how it kind of pops?
So it's
Yeah.
if you grab anywhere here inside of the pane, inside of the card, if I start dragging, you can see that once I get to the end point here, the card pops. Its position just jumps right there. So it looks like it's acting as if, well, I don't know, it's not.
Now, if you click the very top of it and drag from the very top,
Yeah.
like if you drag from, if you drag from the very top of the map, it will pop a lot less. Oh, you lost it.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Really bad.
So yeah, if you drag from the very tip top of the map,
Okay.
it'll be less dramatic with pop. Yeah, it'll be less dramatic with pop.
It is a little less dramatic, but still pretty jarring.
Yeah. So all that code is happening at the very bottom of the code area. So it's all starting with this user list.on events move. So I've been, yeah. So it's just like if the event info box, which is this container that has the for parachute round 2, as well as this scrollable container, if it passes 89, which is right kind of near the top of this, then make it equal to, yeah, I'm not very good at explaining this.
So you have user list content y is equal 0. So you're trying to set the y position for the inner content, right?
Oh, I see. So is user list, is that inside of event info?
User list. Yeah, is that a child layer of events info?
Yes.
It is.
So,
got it. So yeah, we can see right here, line 105, that it's got event info as its super layer.
And that kind of makes sense because then the top of that map is going to jump to what I assume is the top of the phone screen edge, right?
Why do you think it would do that?
Because he set it to 0.
Ah, interesting.
I think that's how I'm reading that. Because like where it's jumping, but I can't.
But if it's a sublayer of user list, its 0 should technically be the top of user list, right? So it should be like up here. Like, well, no.
Huh. Okay.
Event info is its parent, so.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I find it handy when you're printing stuff. You can actually add a comma and print them both out at the same time.
Oh, that is super handy.
So you don't have to have multiple lines and be like, which line is which?
What was that? Where'd you add the comma?
You can just print out multiple things.
Oh, I gotcha.
I just one day was like, I hope this works, and it did,
I hope this works, and it did.
which is nice.
Good when things work.
So it's like, huh.
yeah, it's stumping me. I'm not sure what to do.
Hmm. I see. So it's 0 because it's greater than. Otherwise,
And then it like starts tracking the mouse.
less than. Okay. I see. Okay. Hmm. Well, it looks like, okay, so as I'm like printing this out, as soon as you hit 89, it's, or sorry, go lower than 89, it goes to 0. No, it's 0, and then once you go lower than 89, it jumps to like a negative position. What is controlling this drag layer?
What do you mean? What is controlling? You mean like, is there? It's a scroll component.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah. See, I'm still like trying to figure out how this is all put together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure here. You have any ideas, Chris?
I'm just taking a look at the docs right now. I just wanted to make sure that content Y was the right way to position that.
Yeah. Okay. You probably have a little more experience with the scroll component than I do.
I might. Let's see.
I'm going to jump to Chris.
Yeah, let's see here. Dot scroll Y. What happens if we change this to scroll Y? Have you tried that?
I played with various ideas.
Look at that. Now we're
I
getting
think it's
crazy.
yeah. I think it's because conceptually, what I think's happening is it's the whole time it's tracking where the mouse started from, and then when it starts to allow scrolling, it then all of a sudden says, well, this is the difference of where you started from to where we're actually allowing you to move it, and that distance was like 600 pixels, and now we're just going to jump to that because now we're no longer forced to set it to 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of. Let's see.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if you were to disable scrolling entirely on that layer until you reached 89.
That's a good idea.
Let me give that a
try.
shot.
Yeah.
Give that a shot.
So here we go. And anybody know what the property is offhand? Is it scrollable? What is it?
Scroll enabled, I think.
For a page component, is it still the same?
I'm pulling it up right now. There's scroll vertical and scroll horizontal.
Let's try scroll. Did you set scroll vertical? Is that what you did, or you set scroll horizontal to false? That's what it looks like here.
Yeah.
So cool. I'll set scroll vertical back to true once we get here under or greater than, well, sorry, less than 89.
I think you want it the opposite, but
Well, oh, yes, you're right. And up here we're setting it true. So if we drag from, let's try this. Yeah, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that event's going to propagate through.
Mm.
Matter of fact, that doesn't want to move at all. So we're never going to get less than 80.
or equal to, greater than or equal to.
Oh, we got a little something here.
You got it for a half second.
Yeah.
But don't you want it to? You actually want it to scroll vertical at that point, right?
Yeah, so when you reach the top, it should start scrolling.
So you think you want that to true. Scroll vertical equals true there,
If
right?
we're greater than or equal 89?
Yeah, sure.
Because you're scrolling up approaching 89. So your number starts off large.
There it is. No, we got nothing.
It's got to like fluidly switch over somehow.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to give us that.
It might just
So-
be that Sony isn't that capable of doing that or something.
I might try then the speed, toggling that. I know that works with Draggable. To set the speed to zero, zero,
Scroll
back
speed?
to 1. Yeah, scroll dot speed Y.
Speed.
Might just be the scroll.
So our scroll speed is 0. Is it 0 to 1? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. Yep.
It is. That's still not giving us the fluid scroll.
I think again you want the inverse. Like scroll speed starts at 0.
Whoops. Why do I keep getting that backwards? So this is going to start at 0 by default. And then when we get...
I think it's because initially it's block. You want it blocked because you're pulling up the panel, and then eventually you want the panel to.
But isn't our y supposed to be less than 89 at that point, or?
Oh, Oh, I think you were getting it right.
But that doesn't look like that's working either.
I would try less than or equal to for sure. Just
Yeah, good point.
Mm. And what happens if you just? Oh, never mind. $100.
User list dot speed y is equal to 0.
I mean, it more or less works. Just this content 0. It's greater than.
Where is 89 being set as the limit for this thing? Like, how do we arrive at 89?
Let's see.
Ben, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How do we arrive at 89? What is that?
Oh, so 89 is just the spot where it should stop, because that's where it stops in the app. That's
Where
the
did you
approximate.
define that?
How did I define that?
Where did you define it in your code here?
I didn't. I only defined it at the very end, where it just says, if it equals 89, then stop it.
But what
That's
stops it at 89 is my question. Like, what stops that layer there? Am I changing?
So, I see. Okay. All right. So this is what's happening. This is why it's confusing. It's because it's actually just a few lines up. So this if position dot y is less than or equal to screen height divided by 15,
Got it.
then it equals screen height, which is about 89. And so I switched the numbers around. I'm sorry. I was trying to make it simpler by removing the division and stuff. But yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm touching the info stop and reach a certain height and also disable background moving. Okay. So that should just be 89.
It's 89, bro.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a little more sane. Okay. I was, wondering. I am understanding the structure a little better.
Well, our speed trick is not working. What else you got, Jordan?
I don't know. Does it make sense to like?
I don't want to completely stump you guys or take up everyone's time to potentially get something solved. So if there's anyone else that wants to suggest a project that needs some help, I think we should take maybe like one more. Does anyone in the chat want to jump in it?
I think I'd have to like pull this apart a little more and understand like all the pieces in play here.
Yeah, it's weird because there's a lot of pieces in there. You can move through a lot of views. You can like swipe to the right and stuff.
Oh no.
Okay.
Don't go away.
Cool. I'll see if there's anyone else here at the meetup that'd like some help, and then maybe we can call it a wrap for today. Thank you so much, guys, for participating in this. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Cool. Man, that's a weird one. I wonder if that's just a problem with event propagation and the new scroll components.
Could be. See, like, that logic doesn't quite work out either because as I bring this down and I might. So he's making the scroll component draggable. Is that what I'm seeing?
Good point. I wonder why that is.
I might actually look at this a little differently, honestly.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So it looks like everyone's pretty much like over here is very focused on being in their group. What looks like is really useful is people are getting walked through a project that already exists that works really well, and someone's breaking it down. Would you guys maybe want to do like one of those projects and just break it down how it's working?
I would love to, but everything I've been working on is for work, so I can't really
No,
show.
I mean, maybe like an example that's on the Framer website.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because like I think some people just can't read it properly because they don't understand how like what's going on.
Okay, got it.
Sure, I'm looking through a few here right now. See if I can pull up a decent one.
What do you think? Something that maybe showcases one of the new components might be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds lovely.
scroll component especially. We were just like digging through some of that kind of.
The medium one is a pretty cool one. Because it uses page component and scroll component, whereas the other scroll component ones only use scroll component.
What do you think, Jordan?
I'm looking to see if maybe even one of the ones I actually put together I might show because I'm more familiar with it.
Didn't you put together a module recently?
Almost.
Almost.
I need to finish it. It's like it's for the status bar, and then I did that carousel thing. That's actually what I'm looking at right now. But that's not a finished module. I kind of didn't finish it because then page components came out. So it was like essentially the same thing, right? But let's see. Well, I can walk through that if that's helpful. See if there's. Let me check out. People seem to be liking that tab bar module. I mean, yeah, I think the best one for me to go through would be like the carousel work I did in March.
Give it a shot.
Let's see. It works pretty well on. I mean, I would probably say to use the scroll component, page component stuff. But this will give you an idea of kind of how I put a few things together. So let's see, just set my default animation curve. I usually kind of just do that.
What are the values for the spring curve? Like, what do they actually do, those three values that you put in there? I've never really understood those.
Okay. I always have to look it up too because I'm horrible at remembering. Let's see. Bring this over here. Where is that listed again? Here we go. So if you look here in the animation curve options, you'll see, I believe, spring just is the RK4. Looking. I forget where they listed that. Oh, right here. Yep, spring is an alias for RK4. So tension, strength of the spring, it kind of gives that all right there. So you can emit the tolerance, but the tolerance will be like how much motion is needed before like your animation callback would say I'm done, because essentially a spring could go on forever.
Okay.
But you're saying like basically let's just say we're done when we hit this threshold. But so strength of the spring, the friction, how hard it's to move, and then the velocity at the start.
Okay.
For those three numbers. So yeah, I didn't need the tolerance to do anything, and for a while it wasn't working until there was a bug that was fixed, so I just didn't even bother with it. But that's all in the animation curve stuff. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't need to do this anymore, so that's great. You can just go screen instead of framer device, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, it changed. Yay! Sort of. Okay, there's some settings with this that's different. Probably. I have no idea what that would be.
Is it the old Framer JS code?
Probably, yeah. I haven't updated it since March 18th.
Yeah, that's a dangerous thing to do without testing.
Yes. So we'll leave that alone.
Don't touch that.
Embrace the old APIs.
Leave that be.
So here I basically was setting an inset and a couple like global things that I can mess with. I can go full edge to edge, or I can go 10 pixels or 100 for each of these panes. So I'm just setting a couple things so as I'm messing with it. Like when I did the app, use this on the Apple Watch, I just set it to 0 because I wanted it all the way to the edge. But I'll just leave the, I'll put it back to like 20. I set my slide count to 5. So basically I set up a carousel with the width, and this app width is, initially I grabbed the store inside of here, which is basically just an object. Normally like that, right? The width and the height. So then I'm taking the width of the app, entire screen, times my slide count. So my carousel is actually 5 times the width of this view. Height is the height of the app screen, background clear. Setting the, so I'm basically using the layer draggable, setting it to true. Didn't want any vertical dragging, so speed to Y. I set the current pane equal to 0 and the drag start position equal to 0. And if I wanted to, I could also say like, my awesome property is also equal to 0. I'm just have these here for me to have easy access to later. Instead of storing them like in this or whatever. Tend to keep it with the object. An array, empty array of panes that I fill in. So I'm basically saying, doing a loop from 0 to slide count, which is 5 minus 1, so that's 0 to 4. I am building my 5 panels, these guys, and getting the recording what the X position should be. So it's going to be the app width times the index, so it'll be the app width times 0, or times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4. And dropping those in the carousel, which I built up here, which is that view that's 5 times the width of the screen, and then essentially I'm placing them in X positions side by side, which is 0, then it'll be, what is it, 640, then 1280, and so on. Probably don't need this one, but this is just another pane, and that's where I'm applying the inset settings. So if you didn't really need an inset, you could probably avoid a lot of this, but I just figured this is where I was going to place all my content instead of this kind of dummy. I guess I kind of considered this as my content for something that has no content like this. And then, let's see, am I still in my loop? Yes. So every time I loop through, I add a state to the carousel, which is pane dash the index number, so 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I say the X position is negative X position, yeah, because I want 0 to sit here, so it'll be like -0, which is whatever, 0, and then 640 will be -640, which is, it's moving to the left, so that's in the negative, so it's going to move over, and then 1280. So I'm adding all these states one by one. Like, you don't have to add them as a group. You can do them inside of a loop, and you can use your index right here to help you create the name of your state. So you don't have to do all this manually out here and go like carousel.states.add, and then you're like pane -0. I'm not even doing this right, am I? I don't know. Saying no.
I was shaking my head.
Real disapproving shake too.
Like this kind of sucks, right? Because then eventually you're going to be like, I need 6 panes, or 8 panes.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
And yeah, exactly. That was where I was headed with that. It is kind of a pain. That's funny. Let's see. So let's see. On the drag start, I just get the position of carousel. And really all I'm using that for, I believe, and I'm dropping it in that object, that like custom one I set up here, is to see, let's see.
Can you explain the way you're using event and layer there? Right after you're looking for drag start. Like, why are you passing event and layer in to that function?
Why am I passing these properties in?
Yeah, like I can do without that, right?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
So what are they doing for me? Like, why do you use them?
I could probably go like this, right? It's kind of what you're saying.
I see. So you're just so it's just passing in a reference to the thing that we're acting on.
Yeah, this is the target, I believe, is the proper term. But what was actually hit. Yeah.
I've seen that used before. I've just never understood why.
I probably don't need that either. It's kind of a habit.
Well, that's nice though, because you can just then refer to it locally within that function by its own name. So.
Right. Yeah. Let me think. Why else would I do that? I mean, you could create this kind of dynamically, and you might not even know. You could say while you're looping through, whatever .on something layer, and you won't even know which layer you want. You want the one that was had the event on it.
Right.
So I don't know, kind of a habit. But so here I'm just looking at where it currently is minus the drag start, and then just doing some math, and then I'm also grabbing the velocity, and then when I'm done, I set the drag start position back to 0, just kind of emptying it out. So then at the end, I'm saying like, okay, let's resolve drag. Let's decide what the hell to do. So into that function method, I'm saying inside of here, like, what kind of threshold of change am I looking for? And it's like a drag a third of the screen. So that's like not going to work if I get it right about here. Oh, wait, I'm going the wrong direction. That's not going to work, but right around here should work. So not quite half. A threshold velocity 0.5, and I just want to know what the last pane is, so I say, hey, let's not go past our last pane. Let's see. So in my if statement, I'm basically just saying, like, if velocity is greater than or equal to the threshold, which is 0.5, and that's just something that Draggable gives to you. And I think it's like, I don't know if this is still the case, but in the last 100 milliseconds, it'll look at what the velocity is. So that means basically I can just do a quick, like, not even moving the full screen, right? And I can kind of get that velocity to move to the next panel without going all the way over here.
Yeah,
so I can go slow
you're working.
and indecisive, or I can just be like, blam, and not have to move my finger much. I say if it's that or the change is greater than my threshold, so this change over here, and I can print that out if that helps. It's 280, so that's was more than a third. Is greater than or equal to the threshold change. I basically say current pane decrement if the current pane is greater than 0. It's essentially the same as saying, like, say if I was on pane 4 and I want to go backwards, I'm going to say current pane is equal to current pane minus 1. It's a little more shorthand. And then I do the inverse. Here I increment it. And I'm checking to make sure, I'm greater than I'm not on the last pane, or the first pane, and I'm not on the last pane in each of them too. So if I hit here, it's going to be like, I'm not going to change it's not going to change what the current pane is. Because at the end of this function, it says switch to pane, whatever is now the current pane. So it's never going to change. So it's just going to switch, and it's going to say, I'm already here. So it's going to essentially do nothing, which is probably kind of wasteful, but I could probably check for that a little better and skip this. Check for an actual change.
Cool.
But it kept it pretty slim. And to begin the app, I just call switch to whatever, but sometimes I wanted to be at like 3, which would probably be best to change this here instead. That's my set works. So yeah, that's essentially that in a nutshell. Yeah. Any questions from the
It's been a pretty quiet chat group.
I guess it's Andrew or Ben, or you can ask questions too, Chris, if you want.
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
What kind of beer do you like?
What kind of beer do I like? I like the Chainbreaker, the white IPA. It's good.
Oh yeah, nice. Love white IPA. So I think Ben has already clocked out. I think he said that they have moved on to some other part of the evening over at their side. So I think it's just up to us to close this thing out.
Well, yeah, I have a soccer game to get to.
Do you have anything else, Andrew?
No, I mean, that was cool. Thanks, guys.
Was it? I hope so. So, yeah, I guess we'll see you guys on the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us too, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you. Take care,
All right.
guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.